my idea is, how can people understand that this opportunity to buy crypto now and sit on it for possibly ever and borrow against it to live their lives is an opportunity that literally I don't see ever having been possible. Yes, you were able to do that with real estate, but real estate is tough to get for people now. And again, if we go back to the asset classes in history, right? Think about stock. When did stock come out? Stock was out in the 2000s. Again, cat she just had surgery, so she has like a little thing on her. Um so again, very hard to concentrate with a cat behind me, but I'll lock her up next time. So in history, right, we have had points in history where certain asset classes have dominated, right? So let's start out with let's start with gold. Gold was a historic thing, and way back in the before Christ days, kings held gold, right? Whoever had the gold was that was most of the money. So if you had a lot of gold, you had a lot of power. We, throughout history, we've changed over to fiat and paper money, right? So with paper money, we have switched to not having gold as the back of paper money anymore. There was called the gold standard, which means the dollars were backed by gold assets. That changed in the, I think, 1950s or something like that. And America and other countries came off what's called the gold standard. But still, people hold gold. And if you got gold 100 years ago and now the price is a lot more, you had a good come up in gains, and you could sell that and profit now. But now, gold is not as transferable as I see with crypto, right? If I have a bar of gold, or even, you know, gold pennyweights, if I need to trade that, it's not easy, right? Like, I need to find someone that's willing to take gold. I have to make sure that they're okay with the gold I'm selling them, because that gold could also be, fake, right? Or doctored in some way. So is gold, the asset class that it was before? I don't believe. I know there are a lot of people that believe gold is the way to go. People are saying buy gold right now. But I personally I don't see a lot of people in the future buying gold. When you think about growing a portfolio that grows in value, what you have to think about is, what do you see people doing in the future? Because right now you're going to buy something that will grow in value when more people come in later on. So when I look at gold, I don't see people all around the world buying gold. I just don't. And I don't see it being used as much. I see it as a rich person's way of protecting wealth. Again, past generations of wealth being protected by gold. I don't see no money, no creation of wealth being created by gold. So now let's go to real estate, which is probably the next big asset class that you would think about. Real estate is another one that, of course, it'd be amazing to have a bunch of real estate. But if you're just starting out and you don't have a good credit rating, a good job, a bunch of money to spend on a property, is real estate going to do it for you? Also, is real estate going to be the same gain as it was for people in the past? So in the 1950s and stuff like that, buying a house, you can buy a house for $20,000, $50,000, maybe $100,000, and now those houses are worth millions. That's that generation's come up. They were able to buy property, and then the value of that property grows and grew their net worths. Again, minorities were not able to partake in that because of, racism and stuff like that. So for that generation, if you were the right race, you were able to take advantage of real estate. Now, if you're buying real estate, is real estate really going to grow as much as it grew from the 1950s to now? I don't know, but I still think everybody should own real estate, of course. But when I think about people starting out now, thinking about retirement, I think, okay, what is the asset class that they can start buying that will take them to retirement from right now? And if you don't have anything right now and you're just starting out, no matter what age you are, is real estate viable for everybody? I don't know. Of course, I will tell you, if you could do it, do it. But also, do not look at real estate as an investment. Real estate, if you're going to live in it, is really not an investment. And you could look all over the internet and Google search that. But if you're going to live in real estate, it's not an asset. It's more reliability. Yes, it will grow in value, but there are costs associated with you living there, right? Like if your boiler goes out or your windows need updating, or you have to do this or that in your house, that costs money, right? And because you are paying the mortgage, you're not making money back. So if you had a real estate rental property and you had those same exact things happening, you're still making more money than you are spending. So that's why a real estate rental property is an asset, but a real estate property that you live in is not really. And most rich people they'll, the more rich people you speak to, they'll really, bring that into your mind that just having a real estate property is not enough to retire. If you live in a real estate property, yes, it will go up in value. It will eventually be worth a lot more than than you bought it for. You've lived there for a certain amount of time. The problem is when you get to retirement age, and I've been having people reach out to me about this. When you get to retirement age, your property taxes don't stay at the same price. So let's say you reach retirement and your property tax is $1,000 a month, let's just say. I know that's high, but right now I know people are already paying that. So let's say it's $1,000 a month, and you're bringing in, because you retired with your 401k and all these different things, you're bringing in, let's say, 5K a month, right? Well, every year your property grows in value, right? So every year your property value goes up. So in 30 years, let's say you retire in your 60s and you live 30 more years, those 30 years, your property tax is going up every year. So in your later years, you may not have enough to cover the property tax. So this is why you have to have other revenue streams that will help you build that up. So again, this is why I say, yes, it's amazing if you can have a paid off home. Most people, I don't believe, will. But also, if you have a paid off home, that doesn't mean you can retire comfortably. You just, the math is there. You could do it for yourself. Another big thing I've been working on is creating some type of calculator that will show you, like, the retirement cliff is a term I've been using, which is the day you retire, how much money you make, and the day after you retire, how much money you make. Right. So you got to know what that cliff is so you can fill it out. Right. So if you're going to drop even $1,000 from the day you retire to the day after, what are ways to put money in that gap so you have that extra amount so you can live the same life? Because that's another big thing I see with retirement. People are People don't understand this before, but they understand it after. Once you retire, you're almost guaranteed to have to lower your expenses the rest of your life. Is that a comfortable way to retire? I don't think so. And I don't want that for me and other people. So I'm starting to teach people this retire your bill system so you can come back with the same. You can have the same amount every month or more if you need it. And your bills are covered and they're your same level of bills, not you have to start lowering your bills.